This is Surfboard.
Welcome back to the Boardroom International Surfboard Expo here from Del Mar, California. And there is the shaping bay where we see the last shaper vowing for the icons of foam, Ricky Carroll. He's a two-time winner here. And myself, Dave Stanfield, we've got a couple more guests joining us. We've got Erwin, Spitz, and Bugs from the Surfboard line. They've somehow wrangled MR back into the set. So MR thought he was going to get a break, and very fortunate for us, Dave, he's back in here. But let's find out what Erwin, Schmitz, and Bugs are up to. Welcome to the set, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Listen, today, obviously, I brought 3 of MR's special boards. And one is obviously the Stinger here that Ben Ipa shaped Mark, and he rode at the Bells contest. Second board, which is probably very dear to him, is a Parrish Bolt that he won the Smirnoff in, I think 75, 76. And then probably most dear to MR is his first board he ever shaped in 1976, 77 for Leonard Brady alongside with Dick Brewer. And I'm going to go ahead and just give it to MR, and you can do just a quick view over the 3 boards, MR, and fire away.
Sorry, I'm just going to ask one question.
Yes.
I want to know more about Surfboard line.
Yes.
Because why are these boards here? We know they're MRs, but why do you have them?
Well, I'm an avid surfboard collector, okay, and I've been surfing for over 20 years, and I was growing up in that era, 79, where MR and like Rabbit and Buttons were my idols. So obviously later in life, as I got in adulthood, I had the opportunity to have some disposable income, and obviously wanted to collect museum-type pieces that are dear to me. And surfboardline.com is just a website that showcases my gallery online, and also e-connects other surfboard collectors to talk story and to share their boards. Because if you own a surfboard, you're a collector. And also on there are some media stuff that I do, and just stuff about myself. So.
Oh, you're pretty modest. He's a phenomenal HD cameraman. He's a competitive surfer and everything. How about Erwin over here? Is he your partner?
He's my board broker.
The board broker.
Mark and I connected to the Longboard Collectors Club, and then we've become fast friends ever since. So I help him, look for boards. He asks me to pick them up or whatever, and I just give him a hand whenever I can. Sometimes we do some filming together, and he has me interview people and things like that. But work well together, and we're just a happy couple.
When I see this right here, Randy taught me this word, Randy Rare, provenance.
Yes. Yeah.
Provenance. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and a couple of these boards came through Randy's auction. Obviously the IPA in 2009 through his Hawaiian Vintage Surf auction. The Parrish Bolt actually was also, I think, in the 2009 auction, which went to another collector. Since then, he sold it to me, this other collector. So obviously, I'm proud to have it, and again, cherishing the time here with MR to talk about it briefly for everybody out there. And that's the whole thing, is to pass the stoke onto the community, to be able to inspire, to preserve, because what was is, and what is was. That's a Dick Brewer saying. And again, I like to give it to MR, because I know he's in a rush.
Tell us the emotions of just looking at these boards.
It's like old girlfriends.
There's a lot of emotions. There's quite a lot of my surfing history there. The board up there, which was, I think it was maybe one of the first ones I did with Dick Brewer when I had the shaping lessons with Dick. At Chun's Reef in, I guess it was 77, 76, 77. Basically what Dick would do is he'd put a blank on the stand, show me how to outline it, and then talk about the rocker and everything, and then I'd, take a few cuts and spend a bit of time on it. He'd come back and show me where I was going right and where I was going wrong. So Dick's hands, even though it says I shaped it on that board, there's a pretty good chance that Dick's hands actually touched that board as well. I think we did about 10 boards over the time that I was sort of with him. So it has, even though it wasn't my own board, it was made for one of my best friends in Hawaii, Leonard Brady, who was a partner with Bernie Baker in Island Style. They used to write a lot of the surfing stories and shoot a lot of photos for the magazines. With the IPA, I had a very long history with Ben IPA and a lot of competitive success on his boards. I originally got interested in writing Ben's boards because I knew that guys like Larry Berleman, Dane Kiloha, Mark Liddell, Buttons, all those guys were writing Ben's boards. And I used to see all these incredible photos in Surfer magazine of Ala Moana during the Hawaiian summer of those guys just doing you know, amazing on-rail bottom turns and cutbacks and everything on them. So the first mission when I got to Hawaii that year, which I think was the winter of '75, was to get a stinger off Ben, and the first one he did for me actually had a flame spray on the bottom. So I went through quite a few of them over the years, and this is like a really iconic one. It was one that I rode in the Bells Beach contest. I'm really bad with years. I think it was 1977 possibly, but there's an Australian magazine called Surfing World where they did a whole issue on the Bells event that year, and I think it was won by Michael Peterson, and there's tons of photos of me riding that board. And these boards at the time were as revolutionary as a modern thruster is today. They were quite space age, because Ben's whole theory was to take away part of the rail line so the board would actually pivot on the sting corner and on the swallowtail. And they also had like a step in the bottom where the bottom rocker actually dropped, which increased the tail lift in the tail. So, you know, even though they look sort of, you know, ancient and historic, they were amazing boards. And this one was another idea that Ben had, where it has a 45-degree chime on the bottom. So he was trying to get the rail to have bite, but also for the water to release like really fast off the edge of the rail. And then the Tom Parrish 86 Waimea board there was a board that Tom made for me. And I think I won the first event in Hawaii. I think it was the 1975 Smirnoff, which was my first competitive win, was actually on that board there. And Tom Parrish was an incredible shaper. He shaped so many good boards during that era. Michael Thompson was riding, and Sean Thompson was riding, and Peter Townend, Ian Cairns, pretty much all, and Jeff Hackman also, pretty much all the Aussies and South Africans were riding Parrishes. And it was like an amazing board. It really looks in kind of in...
Pop that over and I'll bring it right here.
It looks in absolute pristine condition. Because it really only got ridden those few times at Waimea. So, you know, I think polished up, it would nearly look like a brand new board. I really sort of cherish this board and managed to keep it in great condition. And the only damage it's got in it, you can see there's a few little foot dints just in the tail. And they're from, you know, Waimea, the final 20-foot Waimea in 1975, you know, shoving the feet in and hanging on for dear life. So, you know, it's a really beautiful surfboard. And it was lost for a long time. I didn't know where it had gone. And strangely, Leonard Brady, who that board was made for, it was in Leonard's house, you know, in the garage or something or other. And I had an email from Randy Rarick with a photo of it saying, hey, we found Mark Warren's, you know, Waimea gun. And I'm going, hey, no, that's my Waimea gun.
Wrong mark.
Wrong mark. So we managed to track it back down again. So it's a piece of, I guess that board is a piece of art and a piece of surfing history.
Well,
how would you guys describe that tail? Very unique outline going right to the tip.
I'd say it's pretty narrow pintail.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be getting 3 fins on the end of that guy.
Baby rounded squash. Well, anyways, hey, thanks so much for bringing this history in. Great to have you tell us about the years when you rode them.
Yeah,
Dave?
and your website. Now, is this boards for sale or is it a historical website? Tell us about your website.
It's Bugs' website, Mark's, and he doesn't really sell many boards. He keeps them because of the love of surfing, and he just loves collecting them and talking to people. And it's really quite an honor to be here with you, Mark, believe me.
Awesome, yeah.
Thank you very much for surfboardline.com.
I'm stoked the boards have got a good home. You know?
What is your surfboard porn site?
Surfboardline.com, check it out. All from, you know, new stuff from Kelly Slater to Fanning to Taj to MR's 70s Smirnoff gun. Again, if you're a board collector, I mean, if you're a board owner, if you own a surfboard, you're a collector, period. Check it out, surfboardline.com. See you there.
So look at the past and, you know, the best boards in the world. He's got some of them on his website. Check it out. Thanks, you guys. Best of luck to you with your site and your collection. MR, you're the man. We'll be back with more live action here from Del Mar, California. See you soon.